Okay, so welcome back to our Saturday yoga class, and welcome if it's your first time joining us. I'm Catherine. This is Flow with Catherine. Very open to any new name suggestions. So typically on Saturdays we have about an hour together, and we work more on some more specific activating, energizing poses, flows. Maybe sometimes it's more challenging, but it depends. Sometimes our Thursday 30-minute class is more challenging because winding down sometimes is harder than waking up. But yeah, so we kind of go back and forth between the two styles of energy. And today we're going to do something a little bit different. I called it today so like flow with chakras, like how Western can I sound? Flow with chakras. However, I think chakras are a really interesting, they're sort of an interesting topic in like the yoga world, in the sort of yoga canon, Western and Eastern. It's a very polarizing topic, and a lot of people do find it very like medicinal and very therapeutic, even if they're not getting the sort of pure what chakras were meant to be. They're sort of getting a new age version, but people still find them very beneficial. And so I offer you my version, and we hopefully will find some benefits from it. And if you are interested in learning more about the chakras, there are tons of resources. I'll offer a couple today. So just to give you a brief background, I guess as I was describing, chakras are very culturally specific. They come from a tantric tradition, and very generally speaking, chakras are these focal points for meditation in the body, visualized as energized discs or wheels. So if you can imagine, let's just use 7 chakras. That's a very common one we hear today. 7 chakras kind of going down this meridian in our body. There's sort of these wheels of energy. Some people think of them as spinning, like almost like flowers with little petals or little discs, and they're these sort of energized spaces. And that they are located where we experience emotion or spiritual energy. I'm checking out, I wrote some notes, that's why I'm like looking down. And importantly, when I was doing a little bit of research on these, it's a visualization practice. It's not like you have a lotus in your navel and you're like, oh my God, like science has lied to me. It's more that you visualize this, and it's more prescriptive rather than descriptive. There are many kinds of chakra systems from history. And what we're going to do today and next week is I'm going to break down these 7 chakras into 2 weeks. And my version is a very much Western adaptation. It isn't tantric purism, so to speak. I don't speak Sanskrit. A lot of the works that come into Western yoga tradition, a lot of the writings, they are based off of a wide interpretation of some Sanskrit texts. And that's where a lot of the debate comes in. It's like, what is a real chakra? Where does it actually come from? Just take that with, as much of a grain of salt as you can as we practice together. And finally, chakras originally functioned as a template for deity energies to emerge in points of the body. So the Western conceptualization, I know some of us went to social work school together. The conceptualization often focuses on psychological associations, very like Carl Jung, for instance, the sacral chakra, like located like here-ish, associated with pleasure. It's like these emotions. Whereas in its earlier versions, it was more associated with sending a specific kind of deity energy to that place. And it wasn't really associated with the psychology of it so much. That's a very kind of new way of thinking about it. However, I think there's a lot of benefits to these new interpretations of chakras. You've probably seen that rainbow. It's like a very I love the rainbow, just like the colors involved. It's just like such a friendly, welcoming. I love how welcoming the chakras are. If you would like to learn more, a lot of this information I got today is from a scholar and a practitioner, Christopher Wallace, also known as Harish, H-A-R-E-E-S-H. His book, Tantra Illuminated. He does a lot of interpretation of Sanskrit texts and kind of compares them to what people actually practice in the Western yoga world, Western yoga canon. It's very interesting. Anyhow, so today we're going to specifically move through the lower 4 chakras, and next week we're going to move through the top 3. And we're going to end with the heart today and then start with the heart next week. So let's come Come on, we're gonna go to the mats now that I've spoken for half the class. Oh man, but I'm still sweating, even though I didn't do any work. So we are going to start today with the root chakra, and really think of the root chakra, this whirling disc of energy located at the base of the spine. Think that tailbone region, that grounding point. So if you'd like to come to a comfortable seat, ideally you'd have your butt cheeks on the ground so you can really kind of feel into that root, but really take what's comfortable. If you want to sit in a chair or on a couch, all good. If you want to take your hands underneath your booty and remove any flesh, just to feel more grounded in those sits bones a little bit. And let's just take a moment to center ourselves, feel up this center meridian with our breath. It's kind of like our breath is kind of opening this pathway. You may close your eyes, just place your hands where they are comfortable, and begin to take in a deep inhale through your nose and let it out through parted lips. Slowing down, still feeling grounded and connected with that root, the base of your spine. Deep inhale and exhale. After your next inhale, you're going to open your mouth wide to let that exhale fully out. So deep inhale through your nose, hold it at the top, and then take in a little more breath than you thought you could. Wide mouth exhale. And let's have a moment to let our breath return to normal. And when you're ready, you can blink open your eyes. So because today's focused on these chakras, we're going to take the flow in a slightly different direction. I usually have a fairly structured way of getting up and getting down. We're going to take it in a little bit differently today. So again, your root chakra, located pelvic floor, think earth, grounded, embodied, reality, strength, security, all of these associations with grounded. Also where we tend to hold a sense of avoidance and fear if it's, quote, blocked. It's a very instinctual place. If it's blocked, you might feel anxiety, stress, fatigue, inability to act. And when it's open, you have a conscious awareness of that space. You might feel a calm, steadying energy. That often is what you feel when you've kind of sat grounded for a few moments and steadied yourself out. Let's roll over onto our hands and knees. And let's take a couple cat and cows. I love cat and cow because you really move up the full line of chakras, starting with the root, ending with the crown. So tops of feet along the ground. Inhale, let the belly drop, gaze lifts. Exhale, push the floor away, rounding through the spine, gaze up towards your navel. Inhale, belly drops, gaze lifts. Exhale, really rounding that spine, creating a nice turtle shell. Head is the last thing to come in. Final one, let the breath lead the movement. And exhale. We're gonna come back to our neutral spine. Walk those palms forward a little bit. Tuck the toes. I realize the back of my body is dark. Hopefully the sun shifts that. You're gonna lift those hips back and up as we come into a downward dog. And once you're here, you can walk your feet out a little bit. I'm just gonna rotate my body. Hopefully my lower half is a little brighter. That's better. Walk those feet out a little bit. And when you feel that the legs are a little warmer, come to a little bit of stillness. Let that head be heavy. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, deeply. Press all 10 knuckles into the floor. Inhale in. And exhale. Excellent. We are going to gaze forward, and we're going to begin to walk our feet towards our hands. And just for a moment, feel into this fold. This fold, it's working a lot of the chakras. Again, really starting at the base of the spine, then we get into the navel, the solar plexus here. Everything is inverted. Have a nice bend in your knees. If you'd like, you can reach opposite elbows and gently rock side to side, letting your body settle here. And it's a nice, refreshing place to reunite with the breath if you've sort of lost awareness of it. Excellent. Now we're going to lower our fingers to the ground, bend our knees, and instead of rolling up like we typically do, we're going to send our heart forward, hands back like you just launched off a ski slope. Deep inhale. And then exhale, reach those arms out in front of you, or you can continue them up past your ears, thumbs pointing to the back. Chair pose. Gently, very gently tuck the tailbone in and really feel that root chakra pointing towards the floor as that heart shines out and up. Energize up and out. Take a deep breath in. Deep exhale to settle. Final inhale here. Exhale, straighten those knees, reach tall, and then exhale, forward fold. Well done. Take a breath. Again, you can reach opposite elbows if you'd like. Reunite with that breath. And when you're ready, release those hands, bend your knees, and roll on up, starting with that root chakra and letting the fold continue up your spine, ending with the head and neck, and you can roll out those shoulders. And from here, I'm just turning to face you. You can place your hands at your heart or out by your sides in a tall mountain pose, rooting through the feet. Eyes can be closed. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. And again, as the chakras is a meditation visualization, maybe we can begin to visualize a calm and steady, grounded space that originates in our lower torso. And kind of channel this openness that we're generating. As if this little wheel of energy, we're exuding this opening energy for us. Excellent. Now, wherever you are standing, you can turn and face me. You can continue the way you're standing. We're going to start, we're going to stay on our feet. We're going to open our legs about as wide as our shoulders, maybe a little wider, and then turn our toes out on a 45-degree angle. Inhale those arms out and up. And then exhale, palms meet as your knees begin to bend. We're going to take it into a yogi squat. You might need to adjust your feet here. Ideally, your legs can press against your elbows against legs if it's in your practice. If it's not, take it nice and easy. It's really supportive to put a block underneath your seat if you're like not a squatter. You're like, what is this? If you are very into doing these, you can even test the strength of your legs pulling apart by lifting your elbows away from your legs and seeing, just how strong you are in this posture, and then bringing it back whenever you need, because we all need to bring it back at some point. So just test, see how you feel here. Again, your root chakra is pointing towards the ground. You're channeling into this grounded reality here, this very intense experience physically, mentally. Take a deep breath. And then on your next exhale, place those hands towards the ground or on some blocks. Begin to send those hips up. And as you do, begin to point those toes ahead. So you're in a wide-legged forward fold. And find your breath. Again, blocks, excellent. Take whatever works for you. There is no perfect way to open the chakras. There's only your way. So really, the whole thing with yoga, just do what feels right. Don't feel like you have to copy the teacher or the person next to you. Excellent. Let that head be heavy. Bend your knees and roll on up. Well done. Then we're going to come to standing. Take a deep, refreshing breath at the top. Then we're going to come back to the top of our mat, reach our arms out and up, and we're going to do a little flow here. Exhale, leading with that heart, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to shins or thighs. Feel the root chakra pulling back, the crown chakra pulling ahead. And then exhale, release down to the forward fold. Then we're going to bend our knees, plant our palms, step one foot back and then the other. Here in your high plank, you can drop your knees and just feel that belly button pulling towards your spine, or you can keep your knees lifted, whatever works for you. Inhale, shifting the heart forward. Exhale, lowering down between those elbows. Inhale, tops the feet on the ground, baby cobra. Elbows pulling towards each other, heart shining out. You're almost pulling the mat behind you. Exhale, forehead to floor. Inhale, move through your tabletop, tuck your toes, send those hips back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now that I'm facing the other way, I'm gonna use my notebook. Take a deep breath. We are about to transition into the sacrum, this pelvic chakra that is slightly above the root chakra, below the belly button. It deals with things such as desires and pleasures and self-healing and flexibility. A lot of people make sort of sexual pleasure associations. That's just maybe not for everybody. If it's blocked, you may feel a sort of lack of creative energy, repressed emotions, but when it's open and you have awareness of it, relationships tend to benefit. You feel more movement, creativity in your life. Excellent. Take one more breath in your downward dog. Exhale, look forward, begin to step your feet forward, forward fold. So we're gonna stay in this forward fold, really emphasizing that compression in this sacrum, this pelvic chakra, this space that's going boop. Really sending our awareness to it. Let your head be heavy. Allow the muscles in the legs to adjust and adapt. Excellent. While we are here, we're going to bend our legs, take our peace fingers, the index, middle, and thumb on both hands. You're going to reach and grab around your big toes, elbows pulling out to the sides. And then on an exhale, begin to send those hips a little higher, fold a little deeper, and you can pull a little on those toes to send that heart further down towards the legs, wherever you are. Keep your knees bent for as deeply as you'd like. We're gonna hold this for a couple cycles of breath. So just allow yourself to ease in. Do not push your max right away. Just let yourself settle. One more cycle of breath here. You're doing so lovely. And then on the exhale, release the hands, bend those knees and roll up one vertebrae at a time, noticing what you feel after that prolonged fold. I certainly feel my glutes doing a little bit of talking to me. Roll back those shoulders at the top and give yourself a little shake. Well done. Let us flow again. We're gonna move into some lunges. Lunges begin to really activate the core, and the core is not just like this. The core is everything, including that sacral chakra. It's really the base of that supportive structure. So let's begin. We're gonna have our feet hips width distance apart. Bend your knees, reach your arms out and up. Feel the sort of glorious, victorious reach. And on an exhale, send it all forward. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to shins or thighs or wherever feels good. And then exhale, forward fold. Inhale to bend those knees, plant the hands, step one foot back, and then the other. High lunge or low lunge, which is the knees dropping. Just take a moment here to make sure that your palms are under your shoulders, your heels are pressing to the wall behind you. It's really activating those legs and the core. Take a breath here. Exhale to hold. Even maybe pull that belly button towards the ceiling a little more. Inhale to shift forward. Exhale to lower down between those hands. Inhale to move through your cobra or maybe your upward dog, which is that your knees are straight, you're on the tops of your feet, elbows are straight, and shoulders are pushing away from your ears. And then exhale, let's meet in our downward facing dog. Get there however works for you, through a tabletop, through rolling over the tops of your toes. Excellent. Let's gaze towards our thumbs and gently lower one forearm down and then the other. And maybe we walk our toes in half an inch into this dolphin. Again, don't know why it's called dolphin. I don't know why. I mean, I guess if you look at constellations, they don't really look like a bunch of stars. It doesn't look like a man shooting a bunch of arrows, but we adapt. And then let's come on back to our palms, squeegee those toes back out a little bit. Take a breath. Wonderful. Now we're going to inhale, lifting the right heel high in the sky, trying to keep those hips square, so not opening everything up, keeping those hips square, toes pointed in the same direction. Exhale, begin to shift forward. That one right leg still in the air. Then we kind of round through the spine as we tuck that knee in towards our nose. Take a breath. And then on the exhale, in one or several steps, plant that foot down in between your hands. Inhale, you can use your thighs for support. Send that torso up. Square the hips by pulling the right hip back, left hip forward, arms up. Exhale, lower back down to the ground. Inhale, step right leg back, high plank or low plank. Inhale, shift forward, and then chaturanga. Yes, lovely push-ups, yes. I had an enormous breakfast, so this is feeling great. And then we'll meet back in our downward facing dog. Maybe by now, downward dog is starting to feel refreshing because of all the intensity of the other stuff. Maybe not, maybe downward dog is still like, wow, this is a chore. Just notice where you're at. We're gonna lift the left heel high in the sky. Exhale, we're gonna shift forward on those right toes, square those hips so that when we step the left leg through, our hips are already square. Begin to send that left knee to left nose, or left nose. Send it to your left nose. Step it between your hands. Just make sure that your knee is on top of your ankle. It's not pushing up to the side. Take a moment here. Can we roll back our shoulders, send our heart a little forward? And then as needed, use your thigh, lifting that torso off, squaring those hips. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, plant the hands down. Step the left leg back to meet the right leg. High plank or low, chaturanga. Whew. And this time, after you move through your upward or cobra, just bend those knees, send those hips back, child's pose. This is a nice moment to close your eyes if you'd like and begin to start visualizing a little physical meditation, that sacral chakra, and all that it just did, that space around the navel. Notice if you feel more connected, you feel more creative. I always feel more creative after yoga. That's a lie, but I like to think I feel more creative after yoga. Then we're gonna inhale, come on back to our hands and knees, and we're gonna move on to the navel. Good old navel, our solar plexus chakra. That area kind of around, it's like the upper abdomen area, often associated with the digestive system. It's known as like the energy powerhouse. You always hear in like fitness classes, like work that core. Like everybody feels into this powerful center. If it's blocked, you may be experiencing some rigidity, lack of direction, lack of self-esteem, sense of controlling. Again, this is the psychology aspect of it all. And if it's open, if you have a conscious awareness of this space, you might be feeling comfort in your inherent power, knowing who you are. So let's find ourselves. Let's take a journey. I tell you, I laugh a lot, but it really is a very powerful kind of idea. So for this, we're gonna take what we just did to the next level. All right, so we're in our tabletop. Let's walk our hands forward, tuck our toes, send those hips back and up. Find yourself into a downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in through your nose and blow it out like you're blowing out birthday candles. Take a deep breath in. This time, sigh it out, make some noise. So we're gonna inhale, lift our right heel, just as we did. Exhale, shifting forward, squaring those hips. And then we round that spine, send that knee forward in one or several steps, plant it between your hands. Hands can always be on blocks. I keep saying I'm gonna teach a block class. I just always forget. But when I'm in class and there's props everywhere, I love props. They make practice so much more, I feel way more in tune with the practice. Anyhow, enough about me. Here, we're gonna rise up into our high lunge. Inhale, reach up. Now here's where it gets a little interesting. We're gonna add a twist, really compressing that solar plexus, rinsing it all out. So your right leg is in front. You're gonna drop your right arm towards your left leg. It might touch, it might not. And then we're gonna reach up, maybe slight back bend. It's like a little reverse warrior, but in a lunge. Maybe you wanna bend that left elbow just to be like fancy. Gaze can be back towards that heel, or out, or up. Excellent. Inhale to untwist, reach both arms up. Exhale, lower them down. Excellent job. Inhale, step the front leg back. And let's move through a chaturanga. Chaturanga. I sometimes would watch tennis with my father, me in downward facing dog. And then you always notice when people are like serving the ball and they like really mean it, or if they're just hitting the ball with the racket, they make like a, and I just feel like it like adds like a power, because it like comes from this solar plexus, this like powerhouse. They're like wailing at this ball. I feel like I do that for like all of my chaturangas. I'm like, you can do it. It's a very intense experience. Let's take a deep breath here. Let's let it out. And let's do as we did in the beginning of class. Take a deep breath, hold it at the top. Then take in a little more air than you thought you could. Wide mouth, let it all out. Now we're gonna lift our left heel into the sky. I'm trying not to kick all of the plants. Oh, and some of you may know my resurrection plant has made an appearance. We're gonna step it through. I had this plant that was totally dead, and it like made this amazing recovery. That flower, that's the resurrection plant. Some of you have followed its journey since the summer. I like to bring it out every once in a while to inspire hope. It like miraculously came back to life. So we're in this high lunge. Let's make an adjustment. Send our heart forward, shoulder blades back. Feel that back heel pressing towards the back wall. A lot of like contradiction here. We're really pulling forward, pulling back, lifting up, pulling it. It's a lot of isometrics. We're gonna inhale the arms up. Exhale. We begin to drop the left hand towards the right leg. Twist to the left side. It's a lot of stability, twisting at the solar plexus. You can bend the top arm if you like. And then inhale both arms up, release that twist. Exhale to frame the front foot. Inhale, step front leg back to meet the back leg. And chaturanga, let's let our tennis serve sounds out. And then meet in your downward facing dog. Good. Here we're gonna walk our hands towards our feet and hover in our fold. Have a nice bend in your knees to release the hamstrings and really allow you to stretch fully. We can loosen our shoulders, loosen our neck. And then rooting through the feet. We feel a connection with the earth below. Begin to rise, one vertebrae at a time. And at the top, take that refreshing inhale that comes only from releasing a deep compression. Roll back the shoulders. We're gonna move into eagle. I like eagle because it works the twisting element that really refreshes that solar plexus and sort of opens it up. It also works a lot of the other chakra spaces. All of the core elements, a lot of balance, even the chakras we're not going to get to today, and like the head, really everything is aligned. So we're going to come to the center of our mats and right away find your dristi, which is just something you can focus on. Just like a little speck on the wall, something to keep your focus. Here, we're going to have our feet together. Bend your knees, reach the arms back, inhale, chair pose. Excellent. Come here. Open those arms out to the side. Maintain that chair. Inhale, reach opposite arms out, or arms out, whatever. Exhale, left hand underneath, right hand flips over, and then your hands meet wherever they meet. Take a breath to lift those elbows away. Feel the shoulders working. Next breath, rooting through the left foot, begin to lift the right, cross it right on over. Oh, I go there. And then if you'd like, you can take a double twist if you want to just continue to wrap those legs. The deeper you bend, the more accessible the double wrap is, but there's like no You don't have to double wrap your legs. It's just like fancy. Good. Settle here. Good. One more breath. And then exhale, release those arms, release those legs, stand up and shake it out. Good. We're going to open our legs as wide as our arms. Inhale, torso tall. Exhale, twisting left hand to left toes. Left hand to right toes. Inhale up. Right hand to left side. You can reach toes, ankle, shin, whatever feels good. One more time each side. Find a flow. Let your breath instigate the movement. Excellent. And when you're nice and ready, you can bend those knees. If you want a jumping jack, close them, or just step those feet back together. Excellent. So feet together, as much as they do. Sometimes people's feet don't actually come flat. That's you, you're fine. Just bring them together. You're gonna inhale, bend those knees, reach those arms back like shoulder blades pressing towards each other, heart shines open. Exhale, engage all of those lower chakras that we just opened up. Chair pose, Utkatasana, intense pose. Shoulders pressing down as you're either reaching forward or up. Again, this isometric pulling, this groundedness, and yet the upper body's lifting. Exhale to open those arms. Inhale, reach them away. Exhale, twist right arm underneath. Twist again. Hands come together wherever they do. Lift those elbows away. Inhale, ground through the right foot as the left foot becomes weightless. Crosses over for tea time. Hello. If you want to take another little cross. And settle. Find that focus. And when you do, let some of your awareness come back to your breath. Falling is good. Let it happen. One more inhale. Exhale, release those arms. Release the legs. Shake it out. Wonderful. Now we're just going to have our feet open, hips width distance apart approximately, just comfortable. You're going to inhale, right arm up, bend at the elbow behind your head. I'm going to turn around so you can see. Left arm is going to come back. Try to meet the right hand. If they don't meet, that's A-okay. Wherever you're comfortable. Then lift that chin to really stretch up that right shoulder, open the heart. From here, you're going to lean to the left. So right elbow up, slight lean to the left. Get a nice little stretch there. Inhale, come up. Exhale, lean to the right. Inhale, come up. Exhale, release those hands. I notice depending on which direction I lean and which arm is up, sometimes it feels like a stretch and sometimes it feels like a compression, like don't let yourself collapse. I'll explain what I mean on this side. So inhale, left arm up, bend the elbow behind your back. Right arm comes to try to reach those fingertips. You might notice one side is way more flexible. That's normal. And inhale, lift that chin, open that heart, tuck that tailbone slightly, just for some alignment. Exhale, stretch to the right. Here, I feel like I'm really stretching. Like my left side of my body is really open. I feel the skin almost stretching. And then inhale, come up. Exhale, reach to the right. And here, I feel like less stretching, but more sustaining, using my core, my solar plexus to keep from collapsing. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, release those arms. And just do a couple little Michael Phelps. We're about to charge into the lanes, win our 50th gold. Excellent. Now, my favorite, many people's favorites, we're moving on to the heart chakra, which many people call the seat of the self. What did I write down here? The seat of the soul, the seat of the soul. Doesn't that just hit? I'm gonna write a song, it's gonna be such a bop. The seat of the soul. Anyway, so we're gonna come back to our mat. And one nice thing about the seat of the soul is it's gentle and kind. So we're gonna take it to the floor. All right, I'm just reading about the heart chakra. Couple little notes. Compassion, unconditional love, seat of the soul, a sense of faith, but faith broadly interpreted. If it's blocked, deep feelings of insecurity, loneliness, despair, unworthiness. And when it's open, you have an awareness of this space, joy, connection with the world around you. And I feel like this connection element is something I always am trying to find in yoga. And it's so interesting when you try to find all of these things in other people and these gurus, you're trying to find your guru, right? But like actually it's in you, this sort of like deep wisdom. Like all you have to do is like find yourself, but it's like no simple task, right? So we really use our communities to help us kind of find ourselves. I don't know, I'm gonna write my own new age philosophy and 0 people will be interested, but I will be interested. So we're gonna come to the floor. So let's take our final little sun salutation, abbreviated here. Inhale, reach those arms up, maybe slight back bend. So open up that heart. Exhale, open those arms wide, giving plenty of space for that heart chakra to soar on down to the floor. Inhale, halfway lift. Move nice and slowly. Emphasis on this heart shining forward. Exhale, lower on down. Inhale to plant those hands. Let's try to maybe hop our feet back. Don't mind if it's messy. So root through the palms, bend your knees, and you're gonna try to send those hips up as you kick those legs out. I feel like I just like knocked over something. Excellent. Take that in your own, direction. Final shift forward, and then exhale to lower all the way down to the ground. Let's exhale for 5 seconds as we lower down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.5. Ooh, something I'm really bad at is pushing back up into the push-up. It's like not happening. So we're lower down. Let's just take a moment. Feel the heart, the area around the heart, all of this stuff just pressing into the earth. Take a breath. Take many breaths. And then peel the heart off the floor. Plant the elbows underneath the shoulders. And like you're pulling the mat behind you, tops of feet on the ground. Send yourself into this really opening Sphinx pose. I love Sphinx pose in terms of like visualizing a Sphinx. I feel like awesome. I'm like, I am a Sphinx. I am old as time, and I have a lot of it's kind of significance. Find your significance in your Sphinx. Take a deep breath in. Let it out. Maybe close your eyes and feel into the sort of subtle power of this posture. And then carefully lower down. We're going to continue with our heart openers. Add a little bit of strength too. We're moving to our locust pose. Forehead on the ground, hands clasped behind you. You're going to pull those hands towards your heels so that your upper body lifts off the ground, keeping the tops of feet planted on the earth. So lower down, inhale deeply. Exhale, peel the shoulders and heart off the floor, pulling those knuckles towards those heels. Gaze out ahead. One more breath. Exhale, lower. If you want, you can bring those fingers up to the middle of the spine to let those elbows drop out to the sides. It can feel really nice for the shoulders. We're going to take that one more time, this time lifting our legs as well. So straighten up those arms, forehead to the ground. Take a deep breath here to set up. And exhale, peel that heart out. I almost imagine like Sailor Moon. It's like shining out. Then lifting those toes off the ground. Take a deep breath. Gaze like it's on the floor, but like out in front of you. Hold it for one more inhale. Squeezing the glutes. And then exhale, lower down. Very good. You can have one cheek on the ground. Maybe you're noticing your heartbeat a little more, which is good. Heart chakra, heartbeat goes hand in hand. And maybe we switch what cheek is on the ground or which ear is on the ground. Excellent. And then we're going to come back onto our hands and knees. Whew. Here I'm noticing my breath is a little faster. My heart rate is a little bit faster. And these numbers may be wildly off, but I think like your heart beats like 100,000 times in a day, and you breathe approximately 60,000 breaths a day, which is like remarkable work to keep you in your body. I learned this from a yoga class I took online. Did not like the yoga class, loved that though. I was like, wow, I'm working so hard all the time to keep me who I am, which is nice. Thank you, heart chakra, thank you, all this. So we're on our hands and knees. We're going to begin to lift our bodies high. Here, any knee sensitivity, please slide a pillow or a thin pillow or a blanket underneath your knees. We're gonna move into camel. Nice back bend, which really opens up the heart space, really stretches the skin. It actually stretches kind of all of these chakras down here as we bend backwards. If you have camel in your practice, feel free to go into it now. Otherwise, we're gonna kind of incrementally move in. So I'm gonna have my hands at my hips. My knees are about hip width distance apart, tops of feet on the ground. I'm gonna inhale to like shine that heart forward, elbows come towards each other. I feel like I'm like some sort of like spiritual soldier. I'm like, I have arrived, like a Valkyrie. I'm like, yes, king, dad, whatever. I've arrived on the mountain. And then exhale, almost like a cat pose. Round it all in. Inhale, send that heart out. Shoulder blades coming together, gaze lifts. Exhale, round it out. This time when we open, try not to send the hips forward as much, more just the shoulders, the upper back kind of comes together, whereas the hips are more in line with the legs. And then exhale, come back to a neutral tall spine. Here, if you would like, inhale, same thing. Or if you would, you can begin to send those shoulders back as you reach one heel and then the other. You have the option to tuck your toes here. There's a lot of different variations you can take. Find what works for you. Or just keep your hands on your hips. I like to look straight ahead. I feel like I look like some sort of like bizarre like creature, like Some people like to drop their neck back. That is not good for me, but it might be amazing for you. I was in this class with props, and there's a way to kind of configure straps and blankets. So you literally are wearing this pillow blanket, and you just like rest your head, a pillow backpack. And you just rest your head on it. It's like lovely. So if you're here, send those hips a little farther forward, shine that heart up and out. One more breath. And then exhale, release one hand, begin to rise up, release the other nice and slowly. And before we reverse that inversion, just send those hips towards those heels or off onto the mat, and just take a moment here to bring the legs out in front, soles of the feet on the ground, and windshield wiper. It's like a little bit of twisting to reset the base of the spine, reset that, the root chakra and all of that. It's increasingly contraindicated to completely invert one way and then the other, to do like a back bend, then a forward fold. So it's nice to twist it out to kind of reset everything. Wonderful. From here, how are we doing in time? Oh, perfect. We're gonna have our feet out in front. So I'm gonna reach for my shins. Inhale to shine that heart forward. Exhale, maybe we release one hand and then the other. And just find this alertness. You're rooting through that chakra in the base of the spine. And it's finishing with this like openness of the heart. And you're just like, you're there for it. You're like, I am here. Or as I like used to say, / still say all the time, you're holding a pizza box. So if you're like not really feeling like chakras, you can like feel pizza. Everyone can feel pizza. And then we're gonna kind of exhale, contract at that lower belly. And begin to roll down. My mat has like moved into the staircase. One vertebrae at a time. Oh yeah. Here, open those arms and just give your knees a nice little windshield wipe. You might be feeling it on the outer edge of the thighs. Because even though we're working the chakras, this meridian, our whole body facilitates the chakras. So we're working, we're moving and working as one. So everything has been affected in a good way, hopefully. Then our knees are gonna come back to pointing up. We're gonna press the lower back down so there's no little space, or the space below your lower back is not as big as it was before we sent it down towards the floor. We are going to cross the right leg over the left, kind of like we were doing tea time before. Toes pointing up, nice flexed feet. We're gonna reach the right hand through that little hole, little figure four. You're gonna reach the outer left thigh, or if you want, you can reach the outer left shin, flex both feet, and roll back onto the floor. Get this nice opener in the hip. And if we're talking chakras and spiritual and emotional energy, hips tend to be quite a point of release. You release a lot of tension, and with that might come emotional tension or an emotional release. So just feel into it. Feel what's there, maybe more physical, maybe more emotional. The more you kind of pull those legs towards you, the more intensity you might experience. So play with what you need right now. Excellent. And then you're going to release your hands and just fully cross that right leg over the left. Open those arms. Let the knees, drop to the left side. Oh, yeah. And then if you want to kind of continue that twist, which is starting at that root chakra, the sacral chakra, the solar plexus, if you want to finish, let it keep riding up that central meridian, you can look to the right side, maybe close your eyes. Just feel into that center line of your body. Maybe send breath down that center line in this twist. If your legs are giving you some lower back tension or any pain, just release the legs and just let them be square with the hips and then drop them to the left. We're going to inhale, bring them back up. Exhale, you can open your eyes, uncross your legs. We're going to cross the left leg over the right. I'm sorry, not over the right. Cross left ankle over right thigh. So there's this little space. Dink. You're going to place your left hand through that little hole and either reach your right thigh or the right shin, just whatever works for you. I have these like very long arms, so I like to reach my shin, but whatever works for you. And then feel into this hip opener on the left side, flexing both feet, keeping everything energized, even as the stretch kind of passively lets you settle. Find your breath here. Feel the earth below you and your connection with it. Feel this creativity opening up in you, budding like the beautiful blossoms that you are. Then we're gonna release the hands and just cross that left leg fully over the right. Again, this is optional. You can just uncross if you'd like. And then let those knees drop to the right side. Maybe we look to the left to complete that full twist. But the twist is yours. It is so personal. So take yours. Don't necessarily do what I do. Take your own twist. I am but your humble guide. Okay. And then we're going to lift those knees, uncross. And then here, we're going to use all of this lovely core. We're going to extend our legs and try our best to lift our torsos off the ground using the hands as minimally as possible. I'm going to twist so you can see me a little better. Here we're in our staff pose, this extended leg pose. Let's have our hands on either side of our hips. I did this on Thursday, but I don't know if this was before or after the video just like pooped out. You're going to press those fingertips into the floor so much that you almost feel you are lifting out of your hips. This releases a lot of tension in the lower back. Sitting like this is like hard for many of us. Use those fingers to relieve that tension. Use the strength of the arms to give the back a little bit of relief. Find the heart. Roll back those shoulders. Send your Sailor Moon energy out into the world that needs you. And then exhale. Maybe we begin to walk those hands a little further open. Take a little forward fold. Inhale, we're going to roll on up. Extend those fingers up. Exhale, fold it down and continue that flow as we roll on up. Inhale to expand. Nice and slow fold. I'm going to take one more and hold at the bottom. You can always bend your knees. Let the knees bend if it helps you access this stretch better. So a nice place to bend is I like to reach my ankles and bend my knees a little bit. Or you can slide a pillow right under the knees and then you just like sink into this. It's really great. Let your head hang. Try your best to find your breath. One final compression. One final kind of awareness of the workings of those lower chakras. And they say the chakras kind of move you from a baser sense of self to a more like ethereal one. You go from this rooted, earthy chakra that connects you with the sort of like baseness of, and the wonderful baseness of like the earth in this world, and it ends with this chakra that's not even in your body. It's like this like space and like the energy around you. So you really move from like earth to air almost. It's kind of cool. It's nice. And then we're gonna release. I tell these stories sometimes to help you like settle in, but I can also imagine you like, please stop talking and release. So we're gonna come back to our mats. This is a little yoga playtime. If there's something you didn't get to today that you wanted to, that you need to stretch up, take it. Options being bridge or wheel. If you're like a handstander, go for it. I'm gonna do a shoulder stand. So if you would like to follow me into a shoulder stand, I'm gonna roll onto my back. And I'm going to lift one leg in the air, and I'm gonna kind of get a little momentum. There's a lot of ways people can access the shoulder stand, so do yours. And essentially, I'm gonna lift my leg so high that it lifts my hips, and I'm gonna catch them with my hands. So my elbows are on the ground, heels are against the earth, and you're kind of like taking a walk on the ceiling. Oh yeah, a little moonwalk. I don't know. Good. This is not indicated if you are on your period, having a baby, having a bad day, just like, I mean, it's fine if you're having a bad day, but, don't access it if it doesn't feel good. If you want to continue to take the toes back overhead for a plow, I might knock over all of my little plants here. No, I might just fit. Oh, there we go. I fit. Toes to the ground. You can release the hands if you like. Please do not look side to side when you're here. So try to just listen to my voice rather than look. You just want to keep your neck stable. Feel yourself grounding and kind of closing up. You're going to lift those heels back up, rolling down the spine to release. I'm going to sneak in a second stretch. I'm going to reach the outer edges of my feet, edges of my feet into a happy baby. I feel like it's a very joyful, nice pose. Take a deep breath as we prepare to settle into our final and arguably most significant posture, one that is the most personal to us. If you're in your happy baby, you can bring the soles of your feet together into a small bound ankle pose. And then extend your legs if you like. Get any blankets or pillows just to find optimal coziness. Having a pillow on your hips can be very grounding. Again, really grounding that root chakra to the floor, to the earth. I'm going to lower my music. And from here, you can open your arms out like you are a snow angel. Let those toes just drop to the sides. If you're gazing up at the ceiling, maybe you let your eyelids just kind of get heavy and your gaze gets a little unfocused. Maybe you close your eyes entirely and let your experience become an inner experience. Maybe we place one hand over our heart and one hand over our bellies. Maybe we keep those arms out in a receptive posture. Take a deep breath in, down that meridian, that chakra line. Let it out. Repeat that one more time. Deep breath in, travel all the way down past your heart, past the solar plexus, settling in that root chakra. And on the exhale, let it spread out to the rest of your body and shine out even beyond your body. And then relax your attention completely. Don't necessarily focus on anything. Just relax. Allow yourself to restore and just integrate as it needs. We'll be here for a couple of moments, so allow yourself time to settle. Honor yourself and each other with this stillness. Let your jaw relax and the tongue in your mouth just be heavy. And your eyebrows are intense. And your neck and shoulders move and melt towards the earth. I invite you to stay in your Shavasana as long as feels beneficial to you. And if you'd like a little more wakeful exit of this position, you can take one deep breath to fill your body, reanimate yourself. And on the exhale, begin to bring small movements back in. Maybe wiggle the fingers and toes, or let the head gently and slowly rock side to side. Maybe you want to take a full kind of wake up stretch by sending those arms up overhead, sending those feet down beyond the mat, and stretching that spine, growing 3 more inches like the Grinch's heart. And then exhale to roll over onto your favorite side, tucking in those knees, keeping those eyes closed, keeping the experience one that's happening between you and yourself. Letting this slight fetal position be one of safety and protection of your heart and the important organs of your body and all of the chakras that live in this space. And then using the muscles of your arms gently shifting by pressing your arms into the floor, sending your body upright, coming back into a comfortable seated position. Find your alignment, head over heart, over pelvis. Hands can come to Anjali Mudra, that prayer position, one of your hands aren't pressed against each other necessarily, but there's a little space between the knuckles where that little budding flower lives, the little budding lotus of your heart. Here I'm going to lift my hands to my forehead, take a deep breath in. Exhale as I bow forward, lower my hands and open my eyes, taking in the world. It's fresh. It's a fresh, brave new world. Here, I'd like to just offer my sincerest gratitude because sealed up our practice, I want to offer you namaste if you like to receive and give namaste. Thank you so much. Next week, we're going to continue with our chakras. We're going to focus on we're starting with our heart, but then focus on throat, third eye, and crown, which get kind of fun sounding too. And yeah, I appreciate you being in this community with all of us, and I hope to catch you next Thursday. Yeah, have a lovely weekend. Proceeds are still going to go to keeping Studio 34 open. It is like my happy space there, and I don't want them to close. So keep supporting yoga through yoga. So thank you all so much. Have a lovely afternoon. Ta-ta.